Welcome to the collective again. Things are starting to pick up at the farm and just everywhere else. Right now I'm sterilizing a bunch of pots because I have a bunch of starts for tomatoes and eggplant that need to get into bigger pots right now. They're just in little bitty, they're just in basics, a pot like this, a tray pretty much like this, and they're just soil in here and there's sprouts everywhere. So I'm going to take those tomorrow and I'll show you a video, this video, and maybe show you a little bit about what I do, and then any starts I don't use because there's too many, I will go ahead and sell those off. So, excitement. It looks like we're in bleach water right here, and I'm just rinsing them off and then organizing them by the type of container they are so they compact nicely. And that's what I always do with all my containers, because over winter bugs can get in, spiders or whatever that can cause havoc on any greenhouse or wherever I go to store that. So, there we go. Hope to see you with the rest of this fun stuff. If they're broken or torn, I just throw them out into recycling. Excitement, I know. Welcome back to the Tamanaka Collective. I just had a bunch of starts in here. You saw that they were little tomatoes, and they were planted in these little shallow trays with holes in them. See, they're really shallow. And I just put soil over them, potting soil, or start soil. And I planted the seeds for the tomatoes and they bloomed. And so now I have a bunch of starts that I just kind of tenderly dumped and pulled gently, so the root mass is all in there, and I'm going to put them into these pots. Pretty easy stuff. I'll plant them probably up to their first leaves and not leave a lot of stem, because the stem will grow roots, and that's why you want to make a U when you plant tomatoes when they get big enough, and not just plant them like you would a pepper plant, or with just the roots in the ground. You want to plant some stem in there too. So let's see how that works out. Basically, I just take a start, just kind of shake it until there's one left, so the roots stay. Gently pull them apart so there's one root, and then I'll do that and plant them like that. Have my finger in here, and then the root, and then I'll put soil around them, just black gold or something like that. Good stuff, easy. And there you have it, easy peasy. And then I'll wet it down, I'll give it a shower, and then maybe put some more soil if it needs it. And then that thing will be good to go, I think. And that's how I do my tomato starts. I do the same thing with the eggplant starts, but I don't bury them as much because they don't get as tall. And if you want, I'll do a little quick thing on that too. I do these medium pots because you can fit 3 of them at a time in these trays, and then it makes it a little more organizationally better for me anyway. Another thing you want to maybe beware of is when you put them in there, you want to shake the soil around the plant a little bit, and then put them in there, and then they'll do just fine. I think they'll be great. Also, with this seed mix, there is no real fertilizer in a lot of these seed mixes, so you want to get these guys out as soon as you can. Because once they're sprouted like this and they got a few more, see how I'm shaking this out until there's one. There you go. You want to get them, so they're not too big, because if they get any bigger, then they're going to start suffering from the lack of fertilizer. So you want to get them into some nice fertilized soil early on and get that process ready so that you get all nice roots and stuff. And when I water, I don't water the surface. I try to just water the trays. Initially, I'll probably just water, the leaves, but tomatoes don't like that. So I just keep the trays, with a little quarter bit of water in there all the time. They'll soak it up, and that will encourage the root growth, and you won't have to get the plants wet, the tops, with water. So that's what I do. Another picture. See, you can see the roots touching the bottom actually. I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. And these are sterilized pots you probably saw from the video that I've taken before this. That'll be part of this video actually, I think. I just sterilized these guys with some bleach solution in water and let them soak for a little while, and even washed some of them off because they were outside and got dirt in them. Because you get hitchhikers like spiders and you know, aphids. Those things suck. So hopefully that'll help you out a little too. Now I've waited for the soil, the start soil, to be dry-ish, and I'm not doing this wet, so it kind of makes it easier for the dirt to untangle the roots, so that it's moderately dry. So some of them have a big root system, some have a small one, but I think it's really cool. Let's see. You don't have to do this, but this is what I use. I use the thin things, and you can see there's holes in them so that they go through, and then I put them on top of a normal tray, and that way some water and moisture still gets on the bottom, even though it may be dry on the top, because you don't want to keep these in here until they're about, like you said, like I say, like I don't know, 4 inches, 3 inches maybe. Paul? If you get lazy, you can also plant them like this, where you take a, you know, plant, you just stick it on the side like that. So there we go. The plant's up on the side, and you can see it to the root, and then just fill up the rest of it with dirt. So I planted these guys March 1st. These are eggplant, so they won't be as mature as the cool tomatoes, but they're still. I went ahead and did this so that we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the tomatoes. They'll do just fine. It looks like the eggplants do have a little more extensive root system, so you want to be a little careful. So what I did was I took a chopstick, at least for me, and kind of trolled through like this through the soil, and loosening the starts like this, so that you won't hurt the root system, and that you're gentle. That's also why you want to make sure this is relatively dry, the soil, so that when you do that, it won't hurt the roots. And there we go. There's our eggplant. And there's our tomatoes. And of course peppers. And all sorts of stuff. Next will come the melons, or not the melons, but squash and everything. So we'll see how that works. There you go. I can't wait to get my lemons outside. They are ready to go outside. They're even blooming some more. So that's really fun right there. The dogs are excited. Everyone wants these plants out of here too, but they're still not frost free yet, so we'll see. I'm also integrating my month-old chicks into the big girl pen, and they seem to be doing pretty well. Let's see. They like to roost on the door here, as you can see. They're not afraid, because they've been playing with the other chicks, these girls. So I'm going to see if I can roost these guys, just for fun, on a proper roost. Oh, there we go. There we go. See how they like that. Oh, one already laid an egg, but there's no green eggs. I have an Americana, and she's a little late. Yeah. They're all complaining. There we go. We set them all up there for fun. I use the bins on the bottom to catch the fertilizer, you know, the chicken crap, and then I scrape it with a shovel off this turf stone and put it in there for compost, and then eventually it'll dry out, and then I put it in this barrel, and then I use it in the yard for fertilizer. And there's a little cabbage that I had the girls playing with, which was kind of fun. I hang it on a little wire, and they go to town with it. Hi, babies. Yeah, the chickens have been behaved. They haven't really messed with them. Isn't that adorable? My blueberries are doing fine. The garden's coming around. All the tulips are coming up. Lots of stuff happening, including my invasive buttercup issues. So we'll see what happens. My rhubarb's popping up. You can see that here. I got all sorts of little stuff going on. I like this time of year. You get to see who survived and what new things you get. Like, I get a lot of trees and stuff that plant themselves. And so I put them in pots on the sidewalk. And then I either give them away or find a home for them or plant them and all that. So, yeah, fun times. Here's my little willow. Well, it used to fit in my car when I bought it. But now it's gotten to this huge monster. It's a curly tails golden willow. Let's see. And it has nice little moss on it. I like it. In the north, of course. Looks pretty. There's a crow trying to build a nest in this tree, but we'll see if he comes back. This is in my front yard. This is fuki or bog rhubarb. And it's pretty invasive. The Japanese use it and preserve it and make it this cool relish out of it. I haven't tried it yet. I wonder if you could even use it like regular rhubarb. Apparently it's just as poisonous as a rhubarb is, so you want to treat it just like that. But who knows, maybe fuki strawberry pie is in order here. So I got a few other things going on. This is my Euphorbia wolfeni. It smells like coffee. It smells very pretty. I like it. And it's a pretty good bush. Very hardy if you have some drought areas, but it is invasive if you're not careful. So you want to keep an eye on that. These guys here will be next year's growth. They don't have flowers, so if you cut them, like if you want to cut them before they go to seed, you can cut them off, but leave these guys that didn't seed. And so you don't just chop it like a big bush. You just cut the flowered ones off, because the other ones will come with flowers next year. So that's a fun point to know. A little fountain. Everyone loves the fountain.